Praise the Lord, church. Everyone on Zoom, can you see me? Good morning, everyone. Can you hear me? Good morning, church. Hi, everyone. Hello. Hi. Give a wave if you can hear me through Zoom. Thank you very much. God bless each and every one of you. Can I make a very kind suggestion? Can I ask everyone that's not got their camera on just to switch it on so we can all be part of one interactive forum? That's it. Great. For those that are switching on their cameras, we really appreciate them. So this is Proclaimers Youth and Pathfinders service today. And it's going to be a very interactive service where we're doing it very differently today. So I want to start by saying thank you to everyone who came here today. I'm so looking forward to how this session is going to be driven. And without me taking too much time, I want to start by having just sharing a small word of prayer. So let's all pray. Our dear and Heavenly Father, dear God, we come before your presence this good morning. We want to say thank you, dear God, for looking after us, for being there for us, for seeing us through up to this time, dear God. Today being a youth service, being a Pathfinder service, dear God, we come before your presence, dear God, to say that, dear God, help us with every conversation, with every discussion that we're going to share today. Let it be for the betterment of us, dear God. Thank you for each and every person that's here today. But Father, even those that are joining us on Zoom, we pray they're going to bless us and help us, dear God, as we do obviously grow as we do grow and walk in faith, oh God. Thank you for your goodness. Thank you for your love. Thank you for your mightiness, oh God. We pray this, believing and trusting in the mighty name of Jesus. Amen. Amen. Okay, and so what I was going to say is if you want to speak, there's an option for you to put your hands up on Zoom. So if you want to express your point, please do that, and we'll be able to give you the platform to do that. So I would like to pass this microphone over to Auntie Janet. She'll be able to take things forward. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Good morning, church, and praise God. We are very excited today because it's Pathfinders Sunday, Youth Sunday, and today we are talking about traditional career versus modern career. And I was invited here by the young people. First and foremost is to introduce, we are coming from a place where we were doing linear careers, where you knew where you're starting from. One job, maybe for 30 years, you stay in one job, you wait to get promoted because of your experience, you wait for your pension. That is where we are coming from. But the world has changed. Most of the places in each country, not just in the United Kingdom, the world has changed, and as the young people go to the job market, they are looking for different jobs than we already know they already exist, because we don't look into them, but the young people are looking into those jobs. So today we're going to hear the young people debate and tell us about what are these careers out there. You know, how do you get there? Do we as parents, knowing where we are coming from, are we ready to accept their career choices? So today is not about us parents. Today is about the young people. Let them speak. Let them tell us where are we going there. But if you think you have a debating point, put it across. We would like this to be as live as possible. So welcome and enjoy. I'm going to give the microphone to Tracy, because she has really worked very hard to put this really well. So Tracy, it's your time to speak to us about the debate for today.
Hello guys, I hope everyone's okay. So let me talk about how this debate came to light. When I was teaching Youth Sunday a couple weeks back, and I was on my last slide, and I talked about doing what's best for you and doing what makes you happy. And I expressed that we should not care about what other people want us to do, but what is best for us. And obviously we had someone who didn't really agree with that, and that was Auntie Pastor, and she believed that it's not about happiness, is about sustainability, and it's about they want us to do they want the youth to do what's best for them, but also they do want the best for the youth, and they believe that traditional careers such as lawyer, doctor, accounting is what's best. And I expressed that even if it's as little as a retail job, that's also best. So I was a bit worried, because it was like, if we shine the light on those jobs that are seen as the best, we are also dimming the light on jobs that people feel that's what's best for them. So I thought this topic is very important because obviously we could see we have people who are for careers that we want, modern day careers, and we have people who are against modern day careers, because the main quote I got from it is not about happiness, it's about sustainability. And as youth, we want what's best for us to make us happy and not what's sustainable. And I remember watching interview on Good Morning Britain, I think. Is it Good Morning Britain? Where Zizi Mills says, we don't want to work harder, we want to work smarter. So we're thinking, as a youth, we need to come to a conclusion and a level ground and a balance so we could stop this repetitive cycle of youth going into a career that they don't want. And also mental health is on a rise, and those are the things that we also need to look at as parents and as youth as well.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Eddie, I'll give it to you. But there's young people here, so lead the program.
Okay, that's fine. So I would like to first and foremost say careers are important in this life, and I'm going to sit in the middle. So there's two sides to this. There's the sustainability factor where you be advised by your parents, strive to be a doctor, strive to be a lawyer, strive to do a career whereby they can see that there is that sustainability with you knowing that in your life you'd be comfortable perhaps maybe earning the doctor's money, right? However, on the flip side to that, just going off what Tracy's saying, what's different now to me doing a retail job that I'm very happy doing it? Because bottom line, I could be a doctor, have a long career doing, helping people as a doctor. However, I'm not happy. And I could work in a retail shop, earning as little as what you'd earn when you're doing retail work in comparison to what a doctor does, but I'd be so happy in my life. So how do you draw the line between the two? Because at the end of the day, this is a sustainability factor. So do we think because you're a doctor and you're being paid a doctor's money, that gives you the right to say, oh, my life is so good? Because at the end of the day, even doctors, we can say here right now, they're stressed. Lawyers are stressed. See what I'm saying? So where do you draw the line in the sand? So if your child told you, oh, mum, I want to work in IKEA for the rest of my life, that's my career, I'm pretty sure most parents would be like, come on now, I didn't put so much effort to you to work in IKEA. But then that child could potentially work in IKEA, and before you know, he might develop ideas to even start his own business because of the passion that he had for maybe, serving customers. Before you know, that could branch to something else. So that's where I'm standing right now. I'm in the middle whereby I can see there's the strong point about choosing a career that's going to help you in life, but it's also passion. So fashion right now, if I told my parents I wanted to become a fashion designer, a fashion designer is the same thing as you being a tailor, It's true, isn't it? You being a tailor. but then when it comes to fashion, I know that is driven by passion as well at the same time. If you're and it's good money as well. Yeah. So anyone else that would like to add a point to that? And also, again, the guys in Zoom, you're more than welcome to share your points.
I guess you can take the microphone. Go on with it. What have you got to say?
Let's say experienced lawyers can earn up to £76,000 to £181,000 a year, but it's a boring job. Many people are rude and suffer abuse. Doctors can earn a basic salary of £37,000, or they could earn up to £88,000 a year. However, many could not deal with all the gory stuff like blood and like just operations and all that, and they can have trauma which will affect their work style and be dangerous to the patients. And also, when let's say you have a job in illustration, parents would think that's not a good job, you won't earn a lot of money, but illustration you can earn up to £40,000 a year, which is more than an average teacher's salary. Computer science, if you have a computer science bachelor computer science degree, you can earn up to £60,000 a year, which is a lot. And let's say journalism, you can earn up to £40,000 to £140,000 a year. So, if that makes you happy, whatever makes you happy, you can find ways to provide for your family and also do something that you love. Yeah. That's all.
Thank you, Casey. That's a very good point that you've raised. Ultimately, by drawing comparisons between, different career paths, and obviously, ultimately, it's about you getting that satisfaction, you having peace, I believe, going forward. So, I would like to open this forum right now, actually, to the guys on Zoom. So, if anyone wants to share a point or raise a point, you're more than happy, or you're more than welcome to do so.
I feel like we can pick someone on Zoom, draw someone out. We have Owen that talked about careers. I believe, was it on the Youth Careers Day? So what do you think about traditional careers versus modern day careers?
Hi guys. To answer that question, obviously happy Sunday. To answer that question is, I think there's room for both careers, for both career choices. As people go on to modern careers, then the traditional ones become more unique as well, and the pay rises go up as well. So I think there's room for both. I think it's more to do with the passion the person has. That's what they need to follow. I think that's what it comes down to.
Thank you, Owen. Again, obviously, we're capturing a very strong point right now, which is passion. I think passion is a key factor right now. But if we then now pick someone else, and I would like to, at this point, maybe ask Pastor Godfrey, sorry, if you can just give us your view on what you think. What's your position, obviously, in this debate where we're looking at modern careers against traditional careers?
Okay, thank you very much, Eddie. I think this is a very important topic, and you made you guys who prepared this, you picked the right topic, because this is where we find parents and young people having conflict ideas, because possibly we come from the old school, and I like the way Owen just mentioned. And I think the most important thing is to strike a balance. And I would say the first thing that one needs to take in consideration is, first of all, you know yourself. That's my view. You assess yourself as a person. What can I do? What makes me happy? Let's say, for example, you love athletics. Let's say running. Here you are running, and I'm telling you, possibly you can be a teacher or you can be a doctor, but your passion, what you like, is running, and maybe you can make a good athlete. So the most important thing is to assess yourself, know what you have, and also it's also good to make a list of things that possibly you like to be, a list of occupation, because sometimes we find ourselves in a place where we're in dilemma. You don't know what to do. So or you're torn between different careers. So it's very important to have a list of occupation. Then you create a short list of exactly what you want to be. Then possibly you can pick one and say, this is the path I want to follow. But however, parents sometimes look at children's abilities. Parents might be wrong. On the other side, they might be right. So sometimes it's good to listen and to have that cardio discussion about the careers. We should not dismiss parents. Again, we should not dismiss children as they come up with what they love to do. So it's just about having that mutual conversation and agreeing and trying to understand each other from different perspectives. That's my take. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Pastor Godfrey. at this point, I would like to then maybe within this forum, perhaps maybe ask Abigail, what's your view on this subject right now? And actually, before you even tell us what's your view, what's your career, Abigail? What do you aspire to be?
So I aspire to go down the engineering route. I want to do geotechnical engineering, and in that, I have the option to go to uni, do a degree in geology, or I could do an apprenticeship, go into engineering, and then work my way up to geotechnical engineering. And I think where I am right now, that's sort of the choice that I'm trying to make. What's better for me as a person? Do I want to go down the uni route, go down apprenticeships? And I feel like older generation as parents, they sort of force the whole idea, secondary school, college, uni. That's the one route that you can only go down. But the generation we're living in right now, we can go down other routes. We are in a fast-paced society where we don't have to go down traditional jobs. We have the flexibility to do other jobs. We're not tied down to a 9 to 5. Our parents had to make a living because they had to do something to provide for us. But the position we're in, we can follow our passion and our talents. And with social media as a platform, you find that people's businesses can take off. And just like that, you can be something and earning more than just being an accountant or going down medical route. Like the medical route is glamorized, but it's like at what cost? Because you go into uni, you don't have a lot of personal time. Then from there, you're working 24/7 and even trying to start a family. There's a lot of other factors that come into just having a sustainable job. That's what I think.
So basically the key concept that I'm seeing here is the main idea that we want the kids to be happy in their job, as in what they're doing. But then the question I want to ask is, let's say you have a kid who, I don't know, aspires to be a footballer, and they've seen all their favorite footballers. They didn't go down the traditional route of going to school, as in most of them have dropped out, and then they end up becoming successful because they're spending most of their time training. I just want to ask if you would be happy with your child going down that route when you know football is not for everything. Would you like them to have something to fall back on so they continue to proceed with their education and wait for do the football alongside it? So that's the question I'm just putting out there.
But I feel like a lot of people are worried about what are they going to fall back on and what is their B plan and everything. But also we're a church and we have to apply faith in all departments. We can't just be applying faith in one department and saying, yeah, I have faith that this will go well. I'll have faith that go well. But when it comes to our careers, we're not having that same energy when it comes to faith. And we need to, as I said, I'm going to say it again, we need to practice faith in all departments. Like right now in my life, I'm doing uni, obviously, because I'm still kind of finding where I want to be. And obviously I do have goals and ambitions that I do want to do that chosen career. However, during this pandemic, it's really changed my mind. I'm like, I'm just going to go with the flow and see what makes me happy and apply faith in my journey. And we've learned that from you guys. So it's a bit confusing to say that, yeah, let's have faith. We hear it in church every weekend. But when it comes to our careers, it's like the faith is gone. You know, so yeah.
Okay. Do you know what? It's good that you touched on the word faith. And from the Bible, in the book of Hebrews, chapter 11, verse 1, it says, "Now faith is a confidence in what we hope for, and assurance about what we do not see." Now faith is a confidence in what we hope for, and assurance about what we do not see. So your career, I want to be a football player. At the age of 13, that young child has faith, is hoping for something, right? And there's the confidence about him knowing that even though I'm not a football player right now, I can be a football player in the future. So what, as a parent right now, if you see that there's potential in that child, what do you then do? Because faith without action is what? It's meaningless, isn't it? Right? So if you're passionate about being a football player, if you're passionate about being a doctor, because at the same time, let's not dismiss these factors. You might find someone in here that's very, very passionate about being a doctor. Even that, think about this. When you go to school to learn, isn't it? You do maths, English, science. So if you find that science is a subject that you really enjoy, what can you then drive from science? If you find that you enjoy tech, you can enjoy food tech. What do you draw from that? You could be a chef. You could find that Jonathan, for instance, loves maths. And what is he doing right now? He's doing maths at uni to become a mathematician, right? Sorry, Casey, what do you want to do? What's your career goal?
Not sure yet.
Not sure yet, okay. But then let me open this up actually for the guys in Zoom. So Sharon, I know Sharon. Sharon? Sharon, I know you do a lot of writing, right? And you do English literature, if I'm right, yeah? So can you just explain to us, obviously, your journey with you wanting to do English literature as a subject, and also again what you aspire to be, and also if Mum can also again give us her view as well on when you told Mum I want to do English literature. What was that reaction? Do you know?
Yeah, so I found it easy to kind of talk to my parents about wanting to do English because they've always been very supportive of kind of like nurturing my creative side, and they didn't want to force that pressure to go down a traditional route. So I was very lucky in that aspect. But in terms of passion, I think you also have to look at how, even for the parents, how you define success, because not everyone looks at their life and they're like, I want to go into this career and I'm going to be so passionate about. Some people are more passionate about having kids or starting a family, and that's success as well. So when we're talking about careers, I think it's important to talk about, are you living to work or working to live? If that makes sense.
Wow, Sharon, are you living to? I like that. I was going to put something out there because, nowadays, most people are very happy with what we are calling the gig economy, jumping from one job to another, and also really having a lifestyle like you can have your holidays, you can take time off, you can take a month off. There's a lot of people who are going into that kind of lifestyle. But my question is, we are also living in a world where money is, everybody want to get rich very, very quickly. Like many people don't want to get to a job whereby you're paid like £2,000, £3,000 at the end of the month. Some people want to be like, within the next two years, I want to be a millionaire. I want to just, get a house or do something. For me, as a parent, when I talk to my children or other children out there, I always go to the sustainability bit where I say, by the age of 25, you should be ready to kind of know where you want to be, because you got bills to pay. No matter how much happy you want to be, we still live in an economy whereby you have to live. Bills have to be paid, and your parents can't keep paying the bills until you're 35, until you're 40. So as much as you're trying to look for a career that you really, really love, or a job that you really, really want to do, you're going to have to put the money aspect into it. How will I make myself survive in my life with the career I've chosen? So no matter how much you want to be happy, I think it's also important to think about money. But Jonathan, you have not spoken, so let me give you the microphone.
There's been some very valid points that have been said, and Janet's just mentioned to me that by 25 you should have an idea of where you want to go. But I'd like to. There's a lot of examples out there who have discovered themselves at maybe 30, even their late 40s, and they've gone on to be very successful. They've gone on to have these billion-dollar corporations, make loads and loads of money. So I think by doing this thing where we put a time scale, and it refers back to what Abigail was saying, by some parents are saying secondary school, college, uni, graduate, job, and then you just work for the rest of your life in a job that you might not enjoy, making money for someone else. We're not really encouraged to deviate from the system and maybe go find ourselves, maybe explore these different opportunities that are out there. Because I feel like with big risks come big rewards. But at the same time, we're also afraid to take these risks. And because at the end of the day, we all fear failure. We're all afraid of failure. Like, our parents did not work as hard as they did to come here and see their children fail. That's why I feel like we like the safe option. However, at the same time, we have to also welcome the possibility that there is a lot of success out there. And right now, as a as a BME community, maybe we limit ourselves on the success we could have for our future generations by telling them, no, stick to the secure, the safe routes, whilst we let others go and be prosperous. So I don't know if anyone has a rebuttal to what I just said, or...
I just wanted to add a small point. Like, kids my generation, they're like money mindset, no friends, just go for the money. And I'm like, but you have to have friends to get what you want in life, and you can't just cut off all social interactions with everybody and just become, let's say, social anxiety. That could happen if you do not like interact with people. And so I'm just saying that that mindset is not really good. You have to live your life before you get a life.
Wow.
Sorry. These quotes, I need to write them down.
That's brilliant. So at this point, I want to pass this over now to Brother Fred, just to give us a bit of input as well. What do you think as well? Where do you stand in this debate regarding modern careers versus traditional careers?
Hello, everyone. With me, I'll start with communication. I think there is a big issue between parents and kids. And because kids are scared of telling their parents that this is the route I want to take, the parents have already made their mind about what they want their kids to do. And I think that's where the problem is. Because in another way, I think the parents should sit down and talk freely with their kids and understand what do they really want to do. Because I had the same experience with my girls. One of them came to us and said, I don't want to do all these things you're saying to me. The career I want to follow is this. And we looked at each other and said, if that's what makes you happy, I think you should pursue it. And we've had that. I have Tracy here. She's tried 4-5 different things. But at last, she decided to settle on one thing and say, Dad, I'm happy now to do this, and I can follow it up. And I think that's where we need to balance, sort of with our kids, because you find if the mother is a nurse and if the father is maybe an accountant, they want their kids to follow that route. But most of them, they will follow it because they are scared. They are not doing it because they are looking at what will I be afterwards. They do it to please their parents. But at long run, when they realize what they want to do, it will be too late for them to go back to what they love. And I think that's my take into that.
Thank you. Thank you. So I would like to welcome anyone from the Zoom forum that would like to share a point. You're more than happy to do that. Any of the youth, actually, from the room. Miles. See, Miles is running away. What about Luton?
I've just really just got to echo what everyone else has saying. That personally, I do believe that you should have a job that you should feel comfortable with what you're doing, because mind you, this job could be something that you're doing for the rest of your life. So I mean, it's just one of those things where you've got to have that passion for it. Otherwise, you've just got to sit there and think to yourself what more you've got to lose. Because I would rather be happy doing with what I'm doing. But at the same time, as Casey said, we're in a generation where, to a certain extent, money is what keeps the world spinning, because money is what we need to kind of actually live. So, I mean, I personally feel like it's a balance between the two. And I kind of feel like regardless of what we want to do, it's about what we feel is sustainable, but has to be practical as well. So if we genuinely feel like we can live off of it and that we can make a good living and it can also satisfy ourselves, then it should be fine. Whereas I feel like our parents only want that foundation that we do succeed. Our parents only want us to succeed. Because if you look beyond the expectations of us doing what is considered as a normalized job, they want us to be successful and get where we want to be. It's just about kind of balancing that and taking their advice on board, but then acting upon what you feel is right for yourself.
Thank you. Is there anyone else here that wants to share a view?
Good afternoon, everyone. And I agree, I think, with every point that has been raised this far. And having listened to all the participants, I think it comes clear is the matter between passion versus purpose. So passion, it means on the youth, what is it you are doing that tells the parent this is what you want to do? And if you invest more on the passion, I'm sure it will be easier for the parent to see on the aspect of the purpose. Passion is about you as a person, this is what I want to do. But now the key question is that in terms of the purpose, is it good enough? Because we know passion, it fluctuates. There will times you get people like moving between jobs. I think Janet did touch on this aspect whereby she talks about people now being participating in a gig economy. The meaning that you're moving from one job to another. If you have got that energy, you're investing into it, you are prepared to shift between jobs, I do agree, it is doable. But if you get a person say like, okay, I'm comfortable doing this, but tomorrow the person doesn't put enough passion for that sustainability aspect. And that is why I think it can defeat the whole purpose on the side of parents. So hence I'm saying like, I'm willing to listen to any person who say, okay, I'm prepared to do this. I'm prepared to go this much to invest into this so that I can be the person who survive in this modern day economy. But again, it's all about where do you go and what do you do to evidence that this is where you are going in your career. So for me, I'll go back to the points of between. It's a passion versus purpose. Thank you.
Hello, hi, it's me again. So I feel like the parents always want evidence. They want to see this is where you're going and this is the end result. But sometimes in life, some people just generally don't see the end result, but you have that vision in your head. And how do you really transfer that vision you have in your head and kind of persuade them to see the end result? Because say if I have so many examples of friends that didn't go through the traditional route and they're doing very well in life. So it's like, why are we paralyzing our children of their gifts, and why are we not encouraging them to the gift? Like, I just started blogging and I never knew I was good at blogging. I actually didn't get good grades in secondary school, but I'm getting clients that are interested in my service, and I've made an opportunity for myself. So I think this generation is about creating opportunities for themselves. And nowadays, the demand of people want so many things. People are, easily attracted to things. So I feel like people are in this society are demanding things that they want and not that they need. So it's a good time to start creating opportunities for yourself and like things for people that they'll be attracted to. Like my friend, he did personal training and he got a job abroad. Now he's self-employed and is making a good load of money, but his mum didn't probably see that end result, but he had that vision in his head. My friend, she went into retail, became a supervisor, now works at TFL, but she's a tattoo artist and she could live on that job. She can live, but now she has 2 streams of income. I'm working now, I have 2 streams of income. So it's like, how do we put the vision in our head and how do we make that evident with you when you guys are not seeing that evidence?
Just to add on to what Tracy said about creating opportunities for ourselves. So I went away and I did some research and I found some good examples. So I'm sure we've all heard of him, KSI. A famous YouTuber. So I was actually reading, in 2009, he started his YouTube account doing gaming. And even right now, when I'm playing my games, I get a lot of criticism being told, why are you just wasting your time? So no, it's true. So this young man, he went away, he started a YouTube channel, just gaming. And his channel grew rapidly because at the end of the day, he's creating content people want to see. He found a gap in the market and he's making money off that, but he didn't stop there. So now he's made loads of money. He's doing his thing. But now recently, this young black man, he's been able to take the success and flip it. Yeah. He's not just stood where he is. He's actually spread his roots in the sense that he's now become a famous boxer. Just a YouTuber, he's now doing these big fights in these boxing arenas and making loads of money. He's making music. And the whole reason I'm bringing it up is that, like Tracy said, he's took an opportunity and he's run with it. He's not stopped, he's still running. he's still adding oil to his flame, and he's still growing and growing and growing. So my point is that, and his parents initially, they weren't supportive, let's say, but he was able to still, against the circumstances, become successful. So now imagine if we're in a scenario where your parents are supportive, how much bigger he could have been. Now, to contradict what I've just said, I understand the security in terms of the fact that not everyone can become famous off YouTube. Many people have done it and it's not been for everyone. But I'm just highlighting the fact that we should talk about his accolades and we should see how big he is. And someone could be the next KSI, but maybe their parents are just stopping them.
And I feel like in life it's all about trial and error. I wanted to do nursing. I didn't like it. I was actually very sad doing it. I didn't find, like, I tried and it was an error. It wasn't for me. I found other things that were good for me. So I feel like in life it's all about trial and error, and we need to allow our children to go through that trial and error process to know what they want. We can't just, you know, go in something, yeah, I want. Even some people are in uni and they're like, I don't even want to do this no more. And it's fine if they want to take that step back and say, let me find myself and see what I want to do. I went to my dad and I was like, I don't want to go uni. I don't feel comfortable going uni. I'm not ready, because mentally uni takes a lot with your mental state. So I feel like let the child go through trial and error. If the child doesn't want, you know, that you know, career or whatever, they're allowed to kind of go back and kind of find themselves and say, this is what I want. And remember, there's people after degrees who are in the job and they're like, I don't even want to do this no more, and they're becoming entrepreneurs. So I feel like we really need to let our children go through that process of finding themselves, because we're in a time where it's like we're going secondary school, then we're going college and straight to uni, and we're like bombarded with all these things. And I feel like sometimes there's also kids that they want to take that step back. And I'm going to give another example of a girl. A lot of the young people know she's Ivorian. I really do look at her her journey, because she's a pastor's child too, and she did go to uni, but she dropped out on the last year because she wanted to pursue her YouTube career and she wanted to pursue her music career. But what her dad did, her dad encouraged her and bought her a camera, and now she's living by herself, got her own house, and most of us are in our careers and we're still in our houses. So I feel like we need to be really supportive for our children to make those bold steps on doing what makes them feel happy. And if it's an error, it's fine. We can go and try other things that we'll see where we'll fit in. So yeah. And we did have Auntie that was not for the, you know, modern, pardon?
Okay, so I'm very actually cautious because I can see a lot of people raising their hands from Zoom. So I'll start by letting Auntie Anne just give us your view on this debate.
Just jumped in, and I was really impressed with the views I'm hearing from the young people as well as the parents. And one thing I've come to realize is when you're talking about the traditional careers, we're mainly focusing on a fear from the parents. And this I find is, is creativity versus comfort zone. Because the young people nowadays, someone has mentioned, you're so creative that the careers that we term as traditional, they really do not get into your way of passion, because as well, what your generation do, they're working with their passion. As in, will I wake up in the morning and still be in love with what I'm doing? That's how most of the young people are translating. Now, on the side of the parents, they're waking up and they're like, will this be a fleeting thing? Because what parents are looking for, they are looking for their children to have stability. And the only thing they know about stability is through the traditional way. Now, someone else also mentioned about apprenticeships. Now, these things are very new to us as parents, because mostly when you hear apprenticeship, we used to translate them as back home technical. So, and when you mention technical, you're not seeing your child doing technical. But what we forget now in this generation, I'll talk to the parents, the careers you're in now, in 2, 3, 4, 5 years, will not be there. They'll be obsolete. On the other hand, the young people, I would advise you, don't dumb down your creativity. But at the same time, it's not with the footballer. Take the example of the footballer. At 30, you want to be a footballer. That could be passing, but that could also be something that is innate within you. But you need to work hard. Don't say you're going to be a footballer and your footballing skills are on, what do you call it? PlayStation. Never go out there to practice your football skills as in live. So don't confuse between virtual and the reality. And that is where we are actually with the lockdown. If you look at it, where we've ended up, you're either reset, repair your own career choices, your relationships, and your perspective of life. There's something else I noted as someone was talking. The young people, you have a very good, this is what I want to be. This is what I want to do. But now, when it comes, there's a fear. How am I going to tell my parents that I don't want to be that lawyer? I want to be an artist. As someone said, I want to be a fashion designer who's a tailor. How am I going to tell my parents that I don't want to be that big job? I just want to be what I love doing. So you need to have a perspective that you can be able to translate your passion to your parents. And that will allay most of their fears, because they will see this person is really burning with this passion and they're going out. KSI, I'll give an example. He just didn't sit. He researched, and that's where he is now.
Yeah, that's true.
You don't need to wake up and say, this is what I want to be. And then you sit down and wait for it. If you don't look for it, it will not come looking for you. I have a saying that I'll share just one slide if I would be, if that is okay.
Yeah.
Well, would that be all right?
Yeah,
just one slide.
Share, yeah.
Okay. Sorry about this. Share. Okay. Can you all see?
Yeah.
Okay. For me, I would say I will talk about after this lockdown, trying to find out your career, your habit formation. First, build your mental strength after this isolation. Casey said about friends, network. We always say network that works. You know all that. Finding your purpose, understanding and action it. Someone else said about faith without action as well is dead. Now, I would say the young people, let's look at the intellect. We have the intellect, and that is what even the parents have. But that intellect only explains something. Let us use our instincts, which is a knowledge of where that is located. I'll give the example. If you go to the safari, in the not the zoo, the big safari to watch the lions and everything. If you have a guide, yeah? If you don't have a guide, you'll go around the whole zoo looking for it, right? But if you have a guide, they will know at this time, this is where the lion lies. So you will go there straight. That's a purpose. Have a purpose. The last one I would say is, I have a creed which says, if you know who you are, then you know who you're definitely not. And when you're trying to translate your career, what you want to do in your career, because you already understand where you're coming from, you know who you really are, it's easy to communicate with your parents, guardians, and say, this is really what I want to do, and this is the support I would look for. And also, if you don't know who you are, someone else will ascribe and affirm on you who they want you to be. So there's always someone looking to put themselves onto what you don't know. So really venture out and find out, who am I? Hold your own pen for your fate and you write it down. And with that, thank you for the platform.
Thank you.
May I just add there, because I think we have not spoken about the power of the social media. Most of us did not grow up with social media, so we don't know how to use it. When we see our children on social media, we assume they're just doing the wrong networks. And I've been taught by my children, actually, you can do a lot of learning on social media. There's a lot of content on YouTube that people are using. But myself, when I'm advising, I always say, also learn to be a creator on the social media. Don't just be a user, because some people will just log in, read what other people are saying, follow celebrities, look at all these influencers, and they're doing a good job, the influencers. But if you're just a follower, people will never really, or even you yourself, you're not growing yourself. In fact, I advise, create material for yourself too. Even if you have only 5 people reading from you or listening to you, you've actually put your mind out there. Social media can be such a big tool in terms of selling what you're making. Some people can really build good businesses on social media, networking with the right people to grow you to where you want to be. So I'm going to say the young people, if we learn better how to use the social media with the new careers, I think most of it is actually found on social media. Nowadays, people are not even going for interview. You don't dress up going for interview. Interviews are being done on social media. I think as traditional people don't understand much about the power of the social media.
Brilliant. Thank you. I see Luto has got a hand up, so I'll give you an opportunity to speak now.
Hello? Can you hear me?
Yep.
Mine was just a previous point that I heard a bit earlier on about when Auntie was speaking, and she was basically talking about how like you've kind of got to go and do what you want to do and just kind of go for what you want. And I agreed with what she was saying, like in terms of how you have to work for what you want, because I do understand that it is not just like a fairy tale type of thing, because our parents want us to have a foundation for us to work off of. Like, for example, when they say that they want us to be a lawyer, it's because they know that gives us good income and that can give us a stable and a life that we can maintain. But I kind of feel like at the same time, young people have to take that responsibility in knowing that if they want to do something that is not deemed as something that is a traditional job, they have to be able to come with what they're able to offer. I kind of feel like young people are quick to say that they want to do certain like different jobs, but not want to put the work and effort that's required into actually doing it. They see one person do it and only see the end result and how that has positively affected that person. But what they don't see is the struggle and the different trial and error that they've taken in order to get to where that person has got to. So I kind of feel like it's about understanding wholeheartedly what your job that you want to have has to offer, and knowing that there is no job out there that is going to be easy or that is going to come with no problems or no stress or anxiety. It's about understanding that this job that you want to do, it's a job that you know that you're willing to take on the positive and the negative, and that no job out there is perfectly, like, it's just kind of like a walk in the park. They have got to understand it does come with responsibility.
I would like to also maybe now ask someone like Brian. Brian has been quiet, just to give us his opinion. Is Brian there? Maybe he's not here. If not, I can go to Colin. See, Colin is posted there. Colin, give us your take on this. I know especially your journey is quite interesting, obviously. So we have Colin. He's about to finish his master's, and we'd be quite keen for you to explain to us, Colin, how did you go about choosing your career and what you're doing right now? Can you explain to us something that is meaningful, that can give us a bit of guidance? Obviously, someone who's aspiring to maybe get to where you are right now, what would you advise them as a key thing to take into account?
Hi, everyone. Mine was different because I had different things I wanted to do when I was young. But obviously, I settled for something that was more management driven, because what I studied earlier was something to do with project management and all that. So, yeah, earlier I got a job in Kenya and I did for almost 5 years. That was really in management, but I didn't like it eventually because I realized it's not what I really want to do, actually. And that's why I applied for a master's here. And when I got here, I thought the master's is just going to be something as easy as, nothing really mathematical or stuff like that, or something, something that you can debate about is what I thought the course was going to be about. But I actually found a passion in something to do with data analytical stuff when I was here, and I didn't know I liked such things. So I realized that late in my life, and right now, it's what I'm really trying to, what I really want to do is data analytical stuff. And I've only studied it for 2 years and I already have a passion for it. And it's what I'm diving into mainly. And I'm glad about that because my mom really supported me in all the things that I did. I never actually told her I didn't want to do something. And she said, no, do this now. Everything I told her I want to do, she always said, okay, fine, do it. And she assisted me in everything when it came to cash, all that stuff. She helped me with everything I needed to do. So I've not really had an issue with parents saying you can't do this, you can't do that. Everything I've always asked her I want to do, she was always supporting me in doing. But my point is, you never know what you're going to do in your career until you actually try things out. Like Tracy said, trial and error. So for me, I found something I really like to do late in my life. And I'm really passionate about it, and I find it easy to do because I really like it. So just find something you really like and go with it.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. It's quite interesting, obviously, how we've spoken about, as it stands right now, I know clearly exactly where we are in terms of our careers. Obviously, we've talked about passion, talked about you planning ahead, but it's something so key right now, because this is a church platform as well, but it's also God's expectation of us, right? And to be able to maybe add a bit of flavor to that, I would like to maybe pass the microphone right now to our pastor, Pastor Damaris, maybe to explain to us from a biblical perspective, what do you think some of the key things that we can take on board as we're planning our careers?
Okay. First of all, I just want to thank you very much for this forum. I want to thank everyone who is contributing. And just to introduce myself, that I am the auntie who brought the argument. And it was actually a disagreement to agree, isn't it? Because I think from where I'm coming from as well, you have to understand, well, I have to be very careful of the words that I will use because I was already warned in advance. So I have to be very, very careful. I'll try my best. So you have to understand where we are coming from. So I have to give about my story. So I am a nurse by profession, and I have to say that our parents as well, they had expectation. And in life, it's all about expectation, honestly. So our parents, they had expectation, and I finished my school back in Kenya. And once I finished school, my dad, in my family, there are so many teachers. So my dad knew that I was going to become a teacher, and I did not agree with that. And I was like, teaching? No. So anyway, I always had compassion to become a nurse. And I thank God that even though that it did not happen at that time, because back home it's so academic. And when I got to this country, I had a way. And you know what? God has our destiny. Our destiny is in God's hands, because I had a passion to become a nurse from back home. And when I came to this country, I was able to fulfill it. And I feel, satisfied at the moment. So anyway, the thing is, the argument was about being happy. And I think we've talked about it, and in the Bible is about happiness comes just for a moment. And I think I will support most of the people who have already spoken here. And it is good to be happy, and I love being happy as well. But I want to look at as well maybe job and career. And I was looking at what is a career, and I realized it is a rite of passage, or it is a cultural rite of passage. And what do I mean by that? We have prepared, our children as child bearer. We have prepared them through the school, and now they have come to a level where they want to start having their career. And looking at that, why having a career is important. So having a career, it gives you a sense of direction to our life, because whatever you aspire to become, that is where you will lead. And I can agree with Tracy. You said that sometimes you try this, it doesn't work. You try this, it doesn't work. And it is good, because, it's part of life. You are growing up. And as a mother and as a parent, there's some words we were told not to use. I think I will agree with what Anne said, when she was speaking about being on a safari and the guide is taking you because he has already been in that field for so many times. And as parents, we are speaking through experience. And what Anne said is the tour guide knows where to find the lion, knows where to find the tiger, and this and this and this. So you will not spend so much time, and that is what as parents we are trying to do. We are trying to guide you. And I think on that day, when I'm mentoring the youth and I'm learning how to mentor the youth, I thank God for Janet, Brother Lutando, Tony, and all the others that we are working together with, because I'm feeling God is leading you to this ministry of mentoring the youth, because it's a field that I'm really liking. They are educating me a lot while I'm mentoring them. So they are mentoring me as well. And we can never stop growing, Even at your old age, you will still be growing. So I wanted to say that you need somebody who is guiding you. You need, and as parents, we are there to guide. Tracy gave an example of someone who went to uni, did a degree, and came back home, brought it to the parents and said, I did what you wanted. Now I'm there. I'm going to pursue what I want. And I said, no, we don't want that as parents. We want you to communicate with us. Come and talk to me. I don't know so much about what is happening right now. You're talking about gaming. You're talking about all this other stuff. But for me, I need you to come and tell me. Let me understand. Let us do research upon what you're talking about. And then I will guide you. And then you will tell me, we'll walk together. This journey, you cannot be able to walk alone. So I'm a parent. And when Eddie went to university, he had started doing boxing. And he was doing good, even though I only attended one. When he was punched, I said, I will never go there again. But I screamed. And when he went to uni, we sat down with him and the dad and said to him, look here, you like boxing, but you want to choose between university or boxing. And it was him who said that I'll go to uni. So, and the one who has spoken before me, they have said about sustainability, because we want something that will sustain you. Okay, Jonathan came and said that I'm going to do mathematics. And for some minute, I didn't understand, okay, so what are you going to become with mathematics? He said, I'm going to do mathematics with actuarial science. I did not even have a clue what actuarial science is. I was talking to one of the doctors at my workplace, and he explained to me what actuarial science is all about. And he said, most of them, they are very good. It's a very good career. And I was like, okay, if he wants to do that, but I don't want something that will bring a lot of stress, but in life there is stress. And whatever, I like what Luto said, we have to understand the paths that others have gone through. It is good to see what other people are doing, but also understand that in life, in whatever you do in life, there is always putting hard work in it. About getting a lot of money, it is good. The Bible says that money is the root of all evil. Money is good, but it is the root of all evil. And that's why when Janet spoke about the time scale, for parents, we want you to mature. And I think that's why probably, maybe I will contradict myself, there is that level of growing up, going to primary school, going to secondary school, going to university. By the time you attain your degree, you are kind of, in your 20s, in your 30s. There is that maturity that comes with whatever you are doing. And I will talk about the benefits of having a career plan. You're having a career plan. It helps you to make a well-informed decisions in life. So we don't want you to jump from this and then you think, is it working for me? No. Now jump to the other one. That's why we have to work together with parents. And I'm open-minded. I'm ready to listen. I have done that before. I've done with Eddie, I've done with Jonathan, and I'm doing with Abigail. I'm trying to do with Abigail as well. And the main thing is to put God first. She's laughing because I'm already kind of disagreeing with what she's doing right now. Okay, my time is well spent, but I thank God for that. But put God first in everything that we do. Put God at the center of everything. And I am depending upon God. You never get wrong when you depend upon God.
Thank you. A few months ago, I think beginning of this year, Captain Tony organized a forum where like a skills workshop. So it would be very important for us to also give him this platform as well to share and explain to us, obviously, his journey, what he does, and also, again, what do you think is the best way forward for us as young people when we're building our careers? I mean, obviously, being experienced in what you do, what can you advise us at this point?
Well, thank you, Eddie. Thank you, everybody. So impressed to see everybody saying their views. It's really kind of challenging our mindsets and how, the challenges you face as young people different to what we did. Eddie, before I even share my own journey, let me just first of all pick up on something Pastor Damari said. I was making some notes, and there's no career or there's nothing in your life that will give you happiness outside of God. First of all, that's the first thing. So, you can hear someone say, I'm enjoying this job, I'm happy. That is only temporary. Happiness comes in doing the will of God. So you'll have moments of happiness, you'll have moments of sadness and all those things. But so the job itself is not an end. A job is just, something, or a career is something that helps you to fulfill your purpose. So one thing I want to say is, I've heard about a lot about traditional jobs and jobs of creativity, which is a good thing. But I think for young people, it's important to know that trust in the process. There's a process of growth that you need. There's a process of education that you need, whether you want to go traditional or not. Those are things you cannot shortcut. You cannot shortcut your success by passing education or by passing the process of growth, because many of you today, you have ideas of what you want to do, but 5 years from today, you'll have a completely different idea. So I started as a soldier. I wanted to be a soldier. I told my parents, I'm not doing anything else. I'm going to be a soldier, and I became one. But after 6 years, I changed my mind. So I forced myself to retrain, and I went to university and I learned again. And I picked a career, which after 5 years I didn't like, so I changed again. So, there's nothing traditional in what I'm doing. My life is just an example of flexibility.
And that's what you have to have. You have to have the resilience and the mental ability to say, you know what, yes, I wanted this 5 years ago, but this is not for me now. Okay, what do I need to do to retrain myself? So you need to be able to have that aptitude and say, well, I want to do business, I want to do a YouTube channel, I want to do this, I want to do that. What do you need in terms of skills? And sometimes you need a traditional job to teach you skills of life or skills of business for you to become an innovator, to you become an inventor. You need to learn from what the world is doing for you to do that. So let's not, don't be too kind of tied in a place where you're saying, I want from the time I'm 21, I want to become this and that's it. Open yourself to opportunities. Open yourself to say, okay, if I work for 3 years, I'm going to learn how the digital market works. And then after that, I'll form my own digital company. So you use traditional jobs where you can to get experience. And then you grow from there. But I think there's another thing I want to say about passion. So what is passion? So the way I'm kind of understanding, passion can be two things. It can be your own internal passion, which you have got a skill or you've got something that you've been born with and you desire to do. That's one thing. But there's another passion that you're seeing someone else like KSI do YouTube and you want to do that. That's not passion. That's you wanting to do what someone else wants to do. So you have to be, I'm hearing some feedback. I don't know whether someone needs to mute or... Yeah, so there's a fine line between passion. So be careful. Just because you're seeing people doing this, that's their passion. It may not be yours. So be careful to understand your passion. And be careful that you have the skills as well. Like someone said, that you're preparing yourself to grow in that passion. But I'm very careful not to impose myself on you, but I'm trying to say, use traditional jobs where you can to grow. You know, don't just say, oh, this is traditional, I'm not touching it. No, you need skills because you cannot be successful in business without experience. You know, there's some people who have that skill as a young person, they will start and they'll be successful, but not everybody. So just be careful and also be flexible. That's the key thing. There's a process of learning. You cannot shortcut it, whether you like it or not. So, you know, I would say 5 years from now, you look back and think, well, I wanted to be an engineer, but now I want to be something else. So, you know, as long as you have that attitude and positive mindset to say, I'm changing, then yes, then, you know, just be ready for that. So I think, Daddy, for me, that's it. But I'm really impressed by what everybody's saying. And, you know, you're so lucky because there's so many opportunities as young people to explore in this modern day world. So, you know, what you need is a plan. What you need is people like myself or Pastor Damaris or Owen or Catherine or Pastor Gisuki who can tell you, okay, we want to do this, okay, why don't we sit together, brainstorm how you should grow? Yeah, it's not for me to impose what you want. It's for me to tell you, if this is your journey, try this or consider this, and it's up to you to do it. So don't see me as a mentor to tell you what you should do, no. And my job is to say, Owen wants to become a big businessman. Okay, Owen, I was reading this article last week. This might help you. Read it. It's just to support you. It's not to tell you. You know, I don't want to talk too long. So thank you, Eddie, and thank you, everybody.
I feel like maybe it was misunderstood when we were talking about people that are already in that position, like KSI, Ivorian Dole, and other people that were mentioned. We're just using them as an example. And also when we see them, it motivates us to kind of strive. It's not that we want to do it because they it's just an example. We're just putting examples to kind of back up our point. And I feel like this is what I was talking about, where it dims the light on normal jobs such as retail, and people go into care and they love it, or other jobs. You also do learn skills in retail. You do learn skills in care. You learn a lot of resilience. You learn a lot of customer service that you can also apply to wherever you're going to go. So I feel like that's where it comes. I feel like sometimes we do dim the light on those jobs that, you know, are not seen as obviously the best, but I've learned a lot of skills when I was in retail. I learned a lot of resilience when I was in retail. So I feel like we need to understand that we're learning from everywhere we go. It's not just the traditional jobs where we're getting those skills. So yeah.
One thing I wanted to say is that someone told me one time, you can have your 9 to 5. Your 9 to 5 will bring you food on the table, but at the end of the day, you need your 6 to 12 that will bring generational wealth. It's not it's not to say completely disregard traditional jobs, but if there's that gap where you know there's something you're passionate about and you want to pursue, you can go down that route. You maybe put in that hard work, that extra hour to get in that income, and then maybe when your other business is hitting off, you could leave your traditional job if you want to. But I know a lot of people that if they're working in construction, they'll go to work 9 to 5, but in the background they're working on their own company, on their own thing, to bring in that extra bread. Because I think the only thing traditionals have is the whole sense of security, but the environment we're living in now, everything's changing, everything's so fast paced. There's jobs that someone might tell you to become a lawyer. I read that in a few years the jobs might be obsolete. So it's not to say to just tie yourself down, basically.
You know, it's interesting that Abigail touched on construction because we have someone very special to us in this forum, Mr. David Pett. So as I know David Pett, he's one of my mentors. He works 9 to 5 doing construction, but also David has a business. So please, David, if you don't mind just sharing your experience, because you're someone who's very useful to us.
Hello, Church. Thanks for the opportunity, Eddie. Hello, Pastor. Hello, everyone. Yeah, I'm really impressed as well. I joined the forum a little bit late today, and my oh my, I've been blessed. I've taken so much in. It's amazing what the youth know. It's amazing the sort of training that obviously they've been undertaken by the leaders. So that's awesome. I think, in terms of career, I think I've had it. When I hear people's stories and how the journey has been, I consider myself blessed, because mine is a little bit unusual. For many, it's been how mine has been. Because I remember as a very little boy, I've just been drawn to construction, and I don't know why. Okay, so I'm walking back from school when I see any construction going on. When I was growing in the 80s, in the early 90s, there'll be a lot of development. So there's what we call construction in progress, if you like. And in that time, in that part of the world, there's no timber holding around the site. So anybody can just stroll in, okay, and safe as it was. And, I still remember flashbacks of me literally crawling through trenches that's been dug out to be filled, with mortar and concrete, for construction. And I'll follow the process through. I'll see a building from inception being built. Every day when I'm walking back from school, I'm just going through, looking at things, and I'll spend hours and hours there. So I've always been drawn to that. I didn't know that I'd end up in that field. Okay, so that was one thing. My interest was there. And it reflected in my performance at school. Because, we're back in Ghana, we used to do, I think, 12 subjects. I think over here, you get to choose very, very early in the process. Ghana, even till now, you don't get to choose until you go to secondary school. So in the subjects that I undertook, I found I was really doing well in the technical side of things. So technical skills, construction, technical drawing. And when it got to the point to choose my secondary school, the career advisor just went to my parents. I was there, and he went, this guy, it looks like he enjoys construction. He does really well in it. So I think he should go into this school and go and study architecture. Okay, so at that time, the only profession we knew in construction was architecture. Okay, weird enough, that's all we knew. So that was what was put on me. So yeah, you go into architecture. And I thought, why not? I can draw very well. I scored an A and all that stuff. So went to school, checked on the board, saw my name, and what subject did they have against my name? Science, full science, biology, chemistry, the whole lot. I thought, no, that's not me. I thought that's not me. That's not the field I want to go into. So I took it up myself. I think I called my parents. I said to them, I first went to the office to check. I said, this is not what I chose. You gave me something totally different. And they went, oh, because of your grades, we think you do well in this field. That's why And I went, nah, that's not what I want. But anyway, they said to me, if you can find someone to swap with, someone who is in a science class that you can swap with, somebody in technical or construction class, you can swap you too. So I went back to my parents and I said, that's what's happened, so this is what I want to do. And he said, yeah, that's fine. So luckily, I got somebody. I just went to the science class and I went to technical class and I went, is anybody here wants to swap? 2 people raised their hands. I picked one. Off we went to the office. We had the change. So that was great. I swapped. Then I was in a construction class. I was happy. Everything looked familiar. I was doing okay until I got to my second year in secondary school, where we had some more senior career advisors coming from the university to come and talk us through about, the career path we've taken and where it's going to lead to, etc. So these guys come in from the university. They say, the final year, second year, and first years, all of us together in that course. They sit us together in one hall and say to us, guys, we do realize that a lot of you have chosen this course because you want to become architects. They went to us, unfortunately, you cannot become an architect on these modules because of A, B, C, D. The only thing you can do is quantity surveying. We all looked at each other and went, what is quantity surveying? Anyway, they explained that to us. So again, a bit of a coincidence there. I didn't choose to come to quantity surveying. It happened to be the only course I could do, But to cut a long story short, I think it's been an amazing journey. At the moment, I got qualified in Ghana. I'm lined up to do a master's in that year. And I was blessed enough to have a job in quantity surveying as soon as I came to the UK. That time of the year, quantity surveying was in the skill shortage list, so there was high demand for that profession. So it's been good. A few years down the line, I thought, I'm not happy with 9 to 5. Okay, I've gained the experience. You see, it's so important. I've gained the experience. I know what my role is all about. So I want to expand my territory. I want to do my own, because 9 to 5, as we all know, is only going to sort out the basics. But if you want to become really, really, really successful, okay, and earn the kind of money that we all want to make, you have to work for yourself. That's so key. But I branched out. So I decided to take on my own clients. I went on LinkedIn and I put myself out there. I switched from being permanently employed to self-employed. So I set up my own company, because at that time I'd got all the experience that I needed to be able to take this journey. So I set up my own company and I went out there. And I'll send dry emails on LinkedIn. I'll introduce myself and I'll say, guys, this is what I do. This is a service I provide. Do you need any help with ABCD? And some of them would totally ignore. Some will come back and they go, not really. And others will go. I had a couple when actually right here, right now, I'm struggling to do a job. So your call couldn't be more timely. So it's been a journey. So that's what you do. And I've got a few clients that I work for privately, which is always a good thing. And that's the construction side of things. Now, passion. There's been a lot of talk about passion, and this is so important, guys. It's so important because I strongly believe that God has gifted every single one of us something. Okay? I believe that in our hands. You see, we all know the story about talent. We have all got something. Okay? So we need to discover what that something is. I discovered what that something is for me very early again. I was just drawn to music. I just loved doing music. So I knew that I had a passion for it. So at a point in time, I thought, right, things are a bit hard. How else can I make money? Because I had the training in music. I could do some music. Many of you remember some 6 years ago, I used to teach all of you, come to your homes. Yeah. Guys, it was a business. You may not know this, but your parents were paying for this. Okay? So that's important. And I know many of you, some of the girls, some of the ladies in the group, you can do hair, you can do makeup. You're drawn to this thing. Embrace it. Now, one final point before I go. I know time is fast spent. But there's always a feeling of, there are many people already doing this, okay? Why, you just feel like it has to be something new before you get into it. No, it doesn't have to be something new. If you go on YouTube now and do one search, you see so many people are putting videos of their interpretation of that one thing, okay? But what I want to say is that you are unique, okay? That you are unique. Now, you may be, okay, I was saying to her, okay, as Jonathan, I was saying this too, okay, there could be a subject on YouTube which you want to talk about, but you may feel everybody else has. But Jonathan, you're the only one, just use as an example, you're the only one who is, probably not the only one, but a young Kenyan, this age, living in the UK, in this part of the world, who speaks the way he speaks, who knows what you know, who will put in a certain way that will draw people like you. You see, there's only one of you who can draw people like you, okay? So if I put a search in for something and I see so many different people, I'll be naturally drawn to somebody who I can kind of relate to by just that thumbnail, okay? So don't feel it's already out there, people are doing it, you are so unique, and your spin on it is what will make the difference. Okay? That's what I'll say in summary.
Thank you.
Do you know, I've just looked at the time right now and it's 12:30. And this forum obviously started at 11 to 12:30. So I'm going to just give a few points. But then, Brian, in popular demand, even before I give the final remarks, I want to give Brian the opportunity to say something. Everyone's asking for Brian. So Brian, if you're there.
Yeah, I'm here.
Thank you.
Yeah, just my advice, because I'm just a little bit older than some of the youth. My thing would just be sort of do what you want. I often hear that people are just freestyling life. So don't feel under pressure. Would be my advice. Don't feel under pressure like, oh, I've just left uni, I need to be a doctor straight away. Like, you can sort of do something you're passionate in, and then you can build to that stage later. But yeah, what everyone else has said, like, find your passion and just try to find a way to like market it yourself. And like look at makeup. Look at you could say Fenty. There's a million makeup brands out there, so there's still space for more. So don't feel like you're limited if you want to create a business into that range. Like, there's always space for more people in it. But yeah, but no, I really enjoyed this. It's really great hearing from everyone. I'm sort of learning from people. So yeah, as I say, I'm still freestyling life. But honestly, I don't think there's such thing as a wrong answer in terms of career and timing. As Tony said, he literally changed his career 3-4 times already. Yeah.
Thank you. Whilst I've got the mic, one point I'd love to say that David actually mentioned is that no one knows what you know. Like, even your parents, they may know what's best for you, but at the end of the day, they don't know what you know. And if you look at no, like David was able to say, he took his experience, he took everything he knew, and he was able to market himself out there. For example, there's numerous, like, your parents, they may know what's best for you, but at the end of the day, if you know that the apprenticeship route, and like we said, not that they don't know much about apprenticeships, but if you know that the apprenticeship route may be the place for you, then I think you should always work hard. I think that's one thing we need to remember. Working hard is what's important as well. We can't wait for it to come to you, as Mama Shani said to you. You have to go out and find it.
So, say that again? Owen, sorry.
Yeah, sorry guys. I just wanted to make a point, like, to summarize everything, yeah, in terms of what's been said. To the parents, I was just gonna say that I think the most important thing is not really career choice, but more the foundation of what you have given to your youth. Yeah. So, like, you can do a test. If you were to tell your child not to come back home, is he gonna survive out there with the qualities that he has right now? Yeah. So in terms of hard work, like, when you look at our kids, do they have hard work? Are they resilient? Are they ambitious? Because I think those qualities and those skills are what's important. And that's why you'll see that in the UK, for example, if you do like an art degree, you can still become an accountant, because they just want to know what skills you have. They don't really want to know whether you can draw or not. You can be like, listen, I did art, but I actually want to be an accountant. And they'll still let you in, yeah, because of the qualities that you have. And then those qualities are the ones that also reflect at work. You know, those are the ones that the managers look at. Those are the ones that create networking and stuff like that. So I think if we focus mostly on the foundation, make our kids strong in terms of like the hard work and the real core skills out there, then they will be fine generally. That's my take on that.
Thank you.
Okay, I believe Brother Muhoho had his hand up. Oh, wow, everyone else talking.
Everyone wants to talk. Uncle Mo, you're muted. I believe you're muted. I think whilst he's sorting out his technical issues, we can move on to potentially Sharon or Mama Brian if you're ready as well.
Can you hear me now?
Oh, we can hear you now. We can hear you now. We can hear you. That's fine.
Yes. Okay. Thank you, everyone. Has been a good, debate for today about the careers and jobs. My take is that how we choose the careers and what we want to do, it's always good, especially the young people who are looking for a job, to talk to someone in that field. To talk to somebody who has been in that field, because from there you're able to get the questions which you might have, the challenges on the way, and what to expect as you pursue the career. So it is advantage to the young people because for a wide variety of talent in different careers who have different career paths. So when they want to pursue a career, if they can be able to talk and just have questions and talk to those who of us who have been in that field. In that field, they'll learn the skills, what to expect, and what they need to come up with for them to be able to face the challenges on their career. It's a good idea always to talk to someone who have been there and get the experience and what to expect. I think that was all what I wanted to say. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, everyone. Hi. It's great to hear what has been contributed. And I know the young people, you have been really encouraged because other people who have listened speaking, they have touched most of the points I wanted to touch as well. And you said about going to the safari or the zoo, but you need a guide to take you through to find where the lions are. Otherwise, you're going to spend the whole day. And when you go home, you can't even remember where you saw them. It's just like the same for you young people. You need to go to the, if you're planning to do a career, go to the university open day. You find your guide there for career guide there. They'll tell you or talk to you deeper in what you want to do. Because you might want to be a nurse like me, but there's so much into nursing that they might tell you, no, instead of doing this, maybe you're better off doing this. And you find that even nursing is not just being in the ward, giving tablets or things like that. There's other field out of that you can do. But you cannot find out until you go to that open day and speak to that career guide. Tony talks skills and experience. If you want to do something and you decide, I wanted to do this, but it's not what I really want, and you quit and go and try something else, you have to give yourself time to develop skills and experience. Because if you decide to do nursing and then halfway, maybe 1 year, 3 months, you drop, you go and do social work. And then after a month, you drop, you say, this is not what I was looking for. And then you want to do something else, maybe like business, and then you drop. You haven't given yourself time to acquire those skills or experience. And when you happen to find where you want to be, there can be a question where, can you tell us your path? Where have you been? Or what have you been doing so far? And what can you bring into this company now? And you don't want to say, I tried this or a mother found it's not mine, so I didn't go ahead with it. And then I tried this. They might think, you probably take you in this job. You might find out it's not what you want within maybe 2 weeks. You have to try something, know if it works. For me, I'm starting to think like, for me, it's not like wine tasting. You taste and you put it down, you go to the next one. You taste, you put it down, you go to the next one. You have to be there to know, or you to drink that wine. No, I don't drink wine. To know what's the best. Everyone have their favorite. But you're not gonna find out with that moment you're testing this one and put it down, because by the time if you have 5 variety, I've already forgotten what the first one was. So you have to give yourself time to be in one place, to know your experience, to know if it's your passion. You definitely find out while you're there. You can't find out your passion within 1 week. No, 1 week is induction time. Second week, you're finding your feet in place. Maybe the third week, you're starting to fly and you think, oh, I didn't realize it's this good, or definitely this is not mine. But please give yourself time to find out or where you are, if it's your place. With the parents, Nyaga, you were talking about our children, like your children will come and tell you this is what they want to do. Many of our parents, we had the same thing. Damaris, you have supported your children. I have been there for Brian as well. I remember him way back, wanted to do media. And I had to go to a point and I was thinking, what is this going to do after? You can do it in school, but when you get there as a career, what else can you do out of it? And that's where his heart was. And I just let him do it. I think within 1 year, he decided it's not mine. And then I say, no, why don't you do the law? He started law in college, and I think another year, my passion was there, only for one reason, lawyer, a barrister in our family. And I was thinking, yes, you don't have to do what I'm doing. This girl has done something completely away out of other people what they are doing. You can do the same, you go a mentor there. He went for it and decided it's not mine. At this time, I have to do and support him what he wanted to do. And that's when now he went to uni doing accounting and finance. And from there, I made up my mind. Wherever my son wants to do, that's what I'm going to support him. If I'm not happy with what he's doing, he's not going to be happy with what he's doing. Because all the time his life in university, he will be doing it for me. So parents, take your time, support your children, attend open days with them, because if you're not there for them, invest your time in them. Take your time away from work. It's not wasting or losing money, but you're investing that time in your child life at that time. So pray your responsibility too. Thank you.
Thank you. I believe there's one more person, Sharon. We'd like to thank everyone for participating on Zoom, but yeah, finally, Sharon, your closing remarks?
Yeah. Hi. Dad. Yeah, it's on.
Hello, everybody. It's good to be here, and thanks for giving me this chance to say a few things. First of all, I think this is a very important topic, and what makes it important is that I've worked out that we spend roughly about 35 to 40 years of our life working. So, by the time you qualify from school or college at the age of about 25, you put in another 40 years before you can draw your pension. So unless you're very fortunate, right, to be able to have a lot of savings, it is true to say that you can be looking at about 35 to 40 years. Which brings me to a very important definition of the difference between a job and a career. And when I was looking at this, I had a short extract. A job is normally or generally short-term, and it really tends to focus on earnings. Whereas a career is generally prepares you for a full future with a better paycheck. So I think what I'm trying to say is that at a certain point in our lives, we will be forced to merge both a job and a career. Now, there are a few things that came up very clear in this discussion, and one of them I would say is, in terms of careers, it's good to have a rough idea of what you want to do. So perhaps have good subject choices. I do believe that young people have got a big advantage in terms of time, but time is ever changing. So, you cannot leave it long. You have to make that decision as to what you'd like to do in terms of your career. And then the second point here is to have a good balance between reality and passion. That, as one of the speakers said, whatever you want to do for a career, you have to think very carefully that you have quite some time, in terms of paying for your bills, in terms of looking after your children. Now, there is the aspect of having transferable skills, and this is, I think, very important. Careers like footballing, YouTuber, boxer are actually very good careers. But in my view, I think they would be very good careers if you had an add-on skill. And the reason for that is you cannot be a footballer for 20 years. You cannot be a boxer for 20 years. You probably will be at your peak for 3, 4, 5 years. And within those 4, 5 years, of course, you'll earn a lot of money. But it's good to have another skill, and that skill probably could be business-oriented, where you put that money into a business venture. And then finally, there is the issue of social mobility. In an ever-changing environment, in terms of jobs, I think the youngsters should ever be, ready to go and look for those jobs. Some of those jobs might relocate, which means that you must be flexible enough to be able to go for those jobs. Now, that calls for a reserve of skills, so much such that if you do not necessarily want to go to a different region, then you can always do something else, within the context of that career. And finally, somebody said that it is good to be great at what you do, and that means cutting above the rest, being the best that you can in your field. It's been a pleasure listening to your comments and your contributions. I'll pass it back to the chair.
Thank you very much. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, church. Thank you, the guys that are here today here in this platform, everyone on Zoom. It's been a very interesting, I would probably say 2 hours, or just under short of 2 hours, where we've been able to just get good ideas. I think initially I thought this was going to be a debate where it would be very heated, very hot, but I felt like there was a very common consensus with how we all agreed on different points and different topics. To my surprise, actually, I thought our parents will be very much, no, you have to be a doctor, but I can see how we're very open right now to understand that actually, in this life, it's about passion, and it's about obviously what our kids want. But for me, I was also thinking, let's not digress too much about the main career, which is also our walk with God. Do you know what I mean? I think that's a very key thing that we also need to understand, that in this life, to achieve anything in this life, you put God first, right? That's your ultimate career. Work with God. See what I'm saying? And then everything else obviously will work for you, because obviously when you put God first, everything else will come in abundance. So just to summarize, there's something that I wrote down here, which Captain Tony touched upon, which is trusting the process. You can never shortcut your success. And trusting the process is one thing. You go to school from year 1 to year 11 to you doing college. That's a process. If you shortcut the process, you're not putting the effort. Ultimately, if you're passionate about whatever career you want, if your academic background doesn't show that you're actually a hard-working person, then how much confidence do you give us, or do you give yourself in actually thinking, actually, I've done so well in school, I can do so well in my business, So trust that process. Last but not least, plan, have a mentor. Very important in anything that you do. So if you think that you want to start a business, you can always look around our church. There's a lot of people that have businesses. You can take the opportunity to speak to someone. Like, for instance, right now, if you want to start an event, I want to do an event right now, I don't know anything about organizing an event, but I can speak to Auntie Janet and say to her, you do organize events. Can you explain to me quickly, how can I do this? Or even if that, can I work with you next time you're organizing Face for Kenya, so I can understand exactly what are the key things that you do. From that, I'll be able to learn something that I can take forward. And if I do decide to do events in the future, I can always use Auntie Janet as a bit of guidance. You see what I'm saying? The guidance that we're saying as well. When you go on safari, you need a guide. Very important. Then the last point before I pass over to Abigail to share the closing prayers is years and years ago, someone went to me, how do you define luck? Oh, luck is defined by when preparation meets opportunity. Right? Preparation is trust in the process. Preparation is you always being ahead of yourself, right? And also preparation is you having that faith in God that Tracy was speaking. And when the opportunity comes, it will come with you and you'll be so surprised. And that's faith again. So I'm saying, when you say that I hope in the future, if you hope in the future, you have to work hard right now. Because when the opportunity meets you in the future, you'll be ready for it. Right. So thank you very much, everyone here. Thank you, Tracy, for coming up with this topic, the Pathfinders, the youth, the church. God bless you all. And I'll pass this to Abigail to share the closing prayer.
Let's pray. Dear God, thank you for this day today. Thank you for giving us the opportunity to come together and share our opinions. I pray that every single youth, you'll help them, you'll give guidance and help them to understand what they want to pursue in life. I pray that you also give parents a teachable spirit to understand where their children are coming from as well, Lord. Amen.
Amen. Thank you all. Thank you.